Smile and learn.
Platero was my donkey. He was small, fuzzy, and as soft as a cloud. Only his jet black eyes were as sharp as a piece of glass. When I let him loose in the meadow, he would run and run, and when I called him, he would trot happily back to me. The village people would see him and shout, "He's like steel!" And it was true. He was like both silver and steel. His coat was as shiny as silver, and he was as strong and brave as steel. One day, as we were walking, Platero began to limp. "What's wrong, my friend?" Platero raised his right hoof with a sad look on his face. He had a thorn stuck in it. I didn't waste a second. I lay down on the ground, pulled the thorn out of his hoof, and took him to the stream to drink some water. Oh, how happy Platero was. After a short while, we headed to the sea. On the way, Platero nuzzled me on the back. I knew it was his way of thanking me. Platero got dirty very easily, and his coat had to be washed with great care. It was a hot summer day, perfect for a bath. So I took Platero out to the courtyard, brought out a basin, and asked him to get in. "In you go, Platero. We're going to get you nice and clean." Platero nodded, although he was not very convinced. I gently washed him with the hose. Little by little, the dirt from his coat disappeared and the water in the basin got darker and darker. "See, my little stubborn donkey, don't you feel better now?" Platero brayed and shook himself dry. Suddenly, he looked shy and embarrassed. "How handsome you are, Platero." And the little donkey, overjoyed, reared and started running around the courtyard as if he were a dog. He was so happy, clean, and beautiful. His little black eyes were shining brighter than ever. One day, Platero and I were walking in the field when we came upon a swallow caught in a net. She flapped and chirped, calling out to her brothers for help, but they couldn't possibly get too close, or they would get trapped too. "Oh no, Platero! That poor bird is caught in a net! Help me!" Platero looked as sad and worried as I was. We couldn't leave without doing something. Together we pulled on the net until we managed to free the poor swallow. She was so small and so frightened. "Now you are free. Fly away, my friend." The little bird spread her wings, took flight, and went to join her brothers. Reunited, the swallows chirped joyfully together. And they were not the only ones. Platero was beside himself with joy. How wonderful it felt to help others. One afternoon in early autumn, Platero and I gathered in the field with our friends. I wanted to show them a new album of trading cards that I had received as a gift. It came all the way from Vienna. The girls looked at it, their eyes widening and their jaws dropping with each page. Then I had an idea. Let's have a race. The first one to reach the violets wins all the cards.
Really? Promise?
I promise. I'll be the referee. Ready? On your mark. Get set. Go! The girls started running. They zipped across the grass, their little dresses flapping in the wind. They were close to reaching the violets when suddenly Platero, excited by the game, galloped ahead and passed them. The girls didn't want to waste a single second complaining, but even when they did, it was too late. Platero wins! Platero wins!
That's not fair. Platero can't even read.
It was true, Platero had won the race, but he couldn't even hold the book with his hooves.
I have an idea.
She picked a handful of parsley from the meadow and made a crown.
For you, Platero.
The little donkey was delighted when the girl placed the crown on his head. 3 cheers for the winner! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! It was Carnival Monday, and the children had painted Platero's face. The whole town was celebrating and dancing around him. However, the poor little donkey was not enjoying the party. He would raise his ears and try to find a way to escape, but there was no way. At last, I managed to get him out of there and take him to the meadow to relax. Poor Platero, there was no way to calm him down. Platero was scared to death and wouldn't stop trembling. Then a butterfly flew by. Look how it flies, Platero. It flies and flies. Platero calmed down right away. He had always loved butterflies just as much as I did. One morning, I discovered that Platero was very sick. His eyes were closed, and he wouldn't get up from the pile of straw that was his bed. His belly was so swollen, and he was breathing very slowly. What's wrong, my friend? What's hurting? There, the vet will make you feel all better. Just hold on a little longer. The village vet arrived at the stable a few minutes later. He kneeled down to listen to Platero's heart. Then he looked up at me very sad. Not good, is it?
There's nothing we can do, kid. He must have eaten a bad herb. The best thing you can do is stay with him until he falls asleep.
And so I did. I sat down at Platero's side and gently stroked his back. Platero, you are my best friend. I didn't know if he could hear me, but I had to say it. You are the greatest donkey one could ever have. What good times we have had together. Do you remember the swallow and the race? You ran so well that day. You can rest now, Platero. Everything will be all right. We're going to be fine. Platero passed away at noon. The stable was silent. except for the sound of my sobbing. All around us flew a colorful butterfly that shone in the sunlight. One afternoon, months later, my friends and I went to the meadow. In the shade of a pine tree, there was a small stick anchored to the ground, surrounded by flowers. It was Platero's grave. Platero, my friend. My friends cried.
Oh, Platero!
Platero, we miss you!
My little donkey. I'm sure you're in a nice meadow now. Are there lots of swallows flying freely through the air? Do you take baths? I hope you're not still eating things off the ground. Tell me, do you see us? Are you looking down on us from up there? Then, as if it were a sign, a beautiful butterfly fluttered from flower to flower and landed on Platero's grave. I was sure that the butterfly was a gift from Platero, who didn't want to see us sad. So I smiled. I stroked the stick anchored in the ground and gave thanks to my donkey.
We've learned so much in just one video. Did you know there are many more videos? Imagine how much you could learn. Subscribe to the Smile and Learn educational channel to learn and have fun at the same time.